I wasn't recording this entire time. Oh my god. I've been babbling and my camera hasn't even been turned on. So, hi Boogie. Hi. Hi mamas. I'm gonna be doing journal entries with y'all. And I'm gonna put them on YouTube. I've been going through a lot mentally and emotionally and internally, and I had a really good talk with Chloe because I have a tendency to nurture people instead of empowering them to realize that they're actually capable of doing the thing that I'm doing for them. Doing something for them is not nurturing them. Empowering them to do it themselves feels more like nurturement. Feels more like nurturing to me. I've had a pimple there. I'm picking up both. Ugh. Whatever. So I'm the oldest daughter. I had a little brother that was in my life for 16 years. Yes, can I help you? I was 10 when he was born. Fuck. It's just an emotional night and it's okay to cry. Ooh. My little brother passed away when he was 16, but he was sick his entire life. He had a chronic illness his entire life, and at 10 years old, the age that I was at when he was born, he needed a lot more attention than an able-bodied, healthy younger sibling would need. And I got accustomed to being put on the back burner, and I kind of put myself there a little bit because my dad worked full-time as a paramedic. My mom didn't drive. She doesn't drive. And so I was kind of like another parent/adult in the house at a young age. And so in my mind, it was solidified that I'm not allowed to be weak. I have to be strong for everybody else because everybody else around me is stressed and struggling and they don't have their shit together, which means I'm not allowed to have my shit together. I'm not allowed to not have my shit together around them, because how are they going to be able to support me when I'm there supporting them and their funk that they're going through? And if they're going through their funk, then I shouldn't burden them with my funk, because then it's twice as heavy. And I'm a big girl and I can be strong and I can take care of things all by myself, hence fixing the toilet. Because in my life, if I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. Nobody else would do it. Nobody was there to do it. Hence the resentment in my voice. Now I'm on my own and hyper independent, and I'm learning how to let people in. Let people in, let them help me, what that looks like, because I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have both my hips and both my knees replaced, and yes, I'm in a lot less pain, but the arthritis is still there. The mobility issues are still there, and I am extremely stubborn and extremely strong-willed, and letting people help me, my brain immediately gets defensive, because it's like I already struggle and I've made it work on my own for so long that I know that no matter what, I can find a way to make it work. And I have to find a way to make it work that works for me. I have to find the Dre way. And so, when somebody's like, hey, do you need any help? I always say no. I always say no. Because in my mind, I know that I can do it myself. But since it's not in the way that they do it, it's wrong. And I feel like I have to prove to people that I can fucking do it. And do it in ways that work for me. I'm still processing. I just dropped Chloe off. We had an amazing heart-to-heart conversation. It was lovely. But I'm also very much deep end people, and I think that's a trauma thing because I only know the deep end. I can swim really good in the deep end because the deep end is so trauma filled that, like, I'm really good at swimming in the deep end because that's all I know how to do. Because, like, hard things are easy for me, and easy things like telling someone how I'm doing is hard as fuck to, like, actually sit and be like, wait, am I actually okay? Am I actually doing good? And I'm not. I'm not good at sitting with my emotions and letting them happen because, like, my family growing up, we went through so much trauma with my brother going to the hospital all the time for being chronically ill and sick. We never talked about anything in my house. Like, I'm gonna share with you guys this story. So, like, when I was 16, basically my entire life, my dad has been a full-time, he's retired now, but he's been a full-time paramedic and a volunteer firefighter and occasionally a carpenter. And he would work on holidays, so he wasn't home for holidays a lot of the time. And my brother, from the ripe age of 1 to 16, he was in and out of the hospital for so long that it was like our second home. We always had a hospital bag packed because my brother was so sick that if he threw up more than once, we would have to take him to the hospital. He was on oxygen towards the end of his life, like the past few years of his life, he was on oxygen. We'd go to the hospital so much. My mom, growing up, did not drive. She still, to this day, does not drive. And since my dad worked full-time and we only had one car, as soon as I could drive, and they would try to get rides from other people, but I helped out a lot with taking my brother to the hospital, with my brother and my mom to doctor's appointments, with grocery shopping occasionally, and every now and then I get resentful, but because my dad wasn't home a lot because my mom didn't work and she didn't drive, I kind of took over adult responsibility sometimes. And so when I was 16, my brother was sick one time, and he was like sitting in our recliner and he couldn't open his hands. Like, they were so tight that he could not physically open his hands himself. And my mom panicked. And she started getting the hospital bag ready, and she started getting the note cards with all the long lists of medication that he had to take. And I had to call the ambulance And I had to like take over and be the calm one. Because my brother was sick and my mom was panicking and my dad was at work and he couldn't come and take her to the hospital. So, and I didn't drive yet. I didn't have my own car. We couldn't get a ride. So we had to call the ambulance. And so I called the ambulance. I gave them our address. I opened the door for them when they came in. And I just stood there and watched as my mom is talking to these paramedics. And they put my brother on a stretcher, and my mom walks out with my brother, and they get in the ambulance, and they drive off, and I'm left alone. After that happened, my parents never talked to me about that, and how it affected me, and how I felt in that. Like, we never talked about. My brother went through a lot, and I was just kind of there. And it got to the point where, like, we'd go to church a lot, and they'd always ask how he was. And it got to the point where, like, as I got older, I told my parents, I was like, I don't want you to tell me how my brother is, because I was the person that would have to relay the information to everybody at church, because he'd be in the hospital for weeks. Every couple of months, he'd be in the hospital for weeks. And, my dad had to work to pay our bills, and my mom had to be with my brother. So I got put on the back burner. And I know it wasn't on purpose. Like, I'm sure as a parent, it was extremely difficult for them. But I got so used to taking care of things, putting others' needs above mine. I've always been really nurturing, and I've always been like mentors for like middle schoolers and high schoolers, and like I've been the listener friend, I've been the therapy friend, I've been the strong friend, I've been the safe friend. And being that friend, I could not return the favor that I was giving out. I didn't trust people. I still struggle with trusting people enough for me to lean on them, for me to lose my shit around them, for me to break down around them. Because growing up, that's not allowed. You keep your shit together and you keep moving. And now here I am at soon to be 36, realizing letting people help me, I don't know how to do, but having people with me, because I'm so hyper independent, having people with me, around me, being like, hey, we're here, we're with you, you're not alone, feels like the equivalent to what can I do to help? And that's kind of what me and her like processed today, because like I kind of enabled her a little bit, because we are 10 years apart, so she is like a little sister, but she's also my friend. And logistically, she's not my little sister. But because of how I grew up, the way that I saw being a big sister was taking over, taking care of things, making sure everything's okay, making sure that you're eating, making sure that you're getting to places that you need to get to, and doing things for you. She's 25. She's an adult. She is a big girl. And instead of doing those things for her that she is perfectly capable of doing herself, I should have been encouraging her to work on doing those things herself. And I think a lot of times in my life, I've just taken over. Let me help. Let me do it, instead of showing you how to do it and showing you that you're capable of doing it yourself. And still being there with you while you learn to do it yourself. And have people with me to support me to do it by myself. Hi, baby. And because I didn't have people with me while I learned to do it myself, I don't know how to let people be with me when they want to help. um, yeah. Did you see Chloe today? Chloe has been over here all the time. And Diva has never shown her face to Chloe, but she finally came out twice. Get it. Get that toy. Did you get it? She finally came out twice today while Chloe was here, so Chloe actually got to see her in person. She's still scared of her, but she's warming up to Chloe. It just took her some time. But instead of journaling, I'm just gonna do video logs because my brain shuts down. I have so many brain blocks from all the trauma that I've been to that I don't remember things. And like the simplicity of like being able to answer the question of how are you? Like what's going on? Because like people unload on me. And it's like a distraction of like, oh well, I don't have to think about how I'm doing because it's all about them. And so when it comes to me, yeah, I'm good. I got my shit together. Everything's fine. And like, maybe the problem was solved, but I'm not okay. Like, yeah, maybe the paramedics came and took my brother okay, and now everything's calm and better. But I'm alone, left with my thoughts. So I have to be okay because I'm alone. Like, I didn't feel like I was allowed to break growing up. Like, I had to keep it together to help the family. And now in my life, I'm doing it to the friends around me and enabling them instead of empowering them. And like, I don't know, we just had a really good talk. And like, it's funny because like we spend a lot of time together to the point where this month has been so weird with trying to vlog and make content because I feel like after my breakup with the dude that I was seeing for a few months, I'm not in tune with my emotions to the point of being able to process them freely. Like, it's so hard for me to tap into how I'm feeling and like what that actually looks like and what that actually means, because I'm so used to being put on the back burner, so used to taking care of you and your needs and making you happy. And I keep it in until I physically cannot keep it in anymore. And then I get upset and angry and resentful or hurt, or they trickle out. What are you doing? You little spaz. So her and I had a really cool talk because like I am the quiet friend, but it's because I don't give myself permission to be the loud friend around my friends that are how I want to be, my loud friends. I love her personality, but I purposely put myself on the back burner instead of joining her in that because I don't feel like I have space to do that. I don't know where that space is. I don't know how to join her. And so we had a really good talk of figuring that out and like, what does that look like and how does that mean? Because I'm so used to not putting myself up front when I need to be up front. I need to be seen. I need to be heard, blah, 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 blah. But like, letting them do that too. Because I know I can't do it without her. Well, that's not true. I enjoy myself doing it with her. I can do it on my own too, but it's more fun with her. And she's 25. Like, yeah, we're 10 years apart, but like she can do stuff on her own. She's perfectly capable. But I have to give her that space to be capable instead of doing it for her. And she needs to give me the space to be in the front row instead of taking over. And then we can do it together. But I feel so heavy because I'm learning with her that I can trust her. And finding people to trust and lean on with being hyper independent 90% of my life is hard. Because I have to keep it together. Because I'm the therapy friend. I'm the mom friend. I'm the... Yeah, I got it. We're good. Taken care of. But nobody's taking care of me, and I'm not letting them. And I need to let them. I need to let them be with me. I need to let them take care of me. That's so scary. I need to let them be a part instead of me taking over by taking care of things. That's not fair to them. It's hindering their growth. And I want them to grow. But they can't grow if I'm doing it for them. So we're learning healthy friend boundaries. Kind of reeling it back, and like we have really deep conversations, but like we don't have friend time. We don't have like casual like hangout time, and like she's pretty much my only friend here in Sacramento right now. Yeah, and I want to find friends that are like closer to my age too. And I like going to college and stuff, but like I'm also introverted, and I'm also like maybe a little socially awkward and anxious. I do like people sometimes, but I have to be comfortable. But like going out and socializing feels really scary sometimes. But I know I need to do it in order to meet people, in order to have new friends. Because I can't have her as my only friend. That's not fair. And she's extroverted, so she has more friends than me. But I feel a little better now. Because I told her, I was like, my brain, I took her home after her coming over, after I fixed my toilet, we hugged, and like she was with me, because that was another thing too. Like I fixed my toilet and she was coming over to support me and be there for me. But by the time she got here, I was fine, because the stress and the trauma of the toilet being fucked up, I fixed it, so everything's fine. The toilet's fine. It works. Nothing's wrong anymore. Everything's okay. And then I have to sit and be like, you had no support, Dre. The maintenance man didn't come and fix it. You had to do that, and you did it by yourself, and that's awesome, and that's empowering. But it was scary for you. You were stressed. You knew that if you didn't do it, it would never get done. And there was nobody there to help you. There was nobody there to help you. There was nobody there to be with you. Nobody there to cheer you on while you figured it out yourself. And that was a lot of my home life. I just learned how to do things myself. And it's not necessarily horrible, but when there are people around you that want to be a part, you don't know how to let them in because you're so used to doing it alone that it's gotten comfortable. Damn. We were just talking to our friend Imani the other day, and I was telling her, I was like, I never want to be comfortable in my life, because then if I get comfortable, I get apathetic, and if I get apathetic, I get lazy. I always want to grow. Growing and changing is hard and uncomfortable. I've put so much work and effort to get to where I am today, and like, I was so frustrated the other day because like, I have to park on campus, like in a parking garage that's further away from my classes, and like, it was so frustrating because I have insomnia, I have rheumatoid arthritis, I've had both my knees and my hips replaced, I went to community college, I made it here. I made it here. And I'm still struggling. I still have the arthritis, I still have the insomnia. And like, I've been leaving 30 minutes early to get to school, but by the time I get to school, the traffic and parking is so bad on campus that by the time I get a place to park, I'm already late for my classes. Because of my arthritis, it still takes me longer to get to places. I still get fatigued. I still don't have enough spoons sometimes, but I have to. I have to if I want to double major. I have to if I want to do a 5K in every state. And I want to learn how to let people in and do it with me, because I'm so used to doing it alone. I want to figure out how to let people in and to let them join and let them be a part. And be able to trust them and lean on them. But it was so frustrating, like, getting to my parking spot and having to rush to get to class on time because I want to get all A's and B's this semester. And I've always just gotten by. What are you doing? Are you gonna jump on the tree again? What are you doing, bug? Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing, you goober? I've been this way for so long. And changing it up is gonna take time. Hi, baby. She's bumping against. What are you doing? But even with my arthritis, I mean, like, yes, I've had my hips and knees replaced, and yes, I can walk more like an able-bodied person. I still have rheumatoid arthritis. I still have mobility issues. So like, when people ask if I need any help, I feel like a part of my independence gets taken away because I work so hard to make things happen. That if I don't do it, it's not gonna happen. And when they offer help, it's like, I'm gonna show you that I can. And I'm gonna do it my way. I can't do it your way. I can't. So yeah, I'm gonna have to leave an hour early because it takes me longer to walk to campus than an able-bodied person with no fatigue and no depression and anxiety and no achy joint disease that limits my mobility and put me in so much agonizing pain that I had to have my knees and hips replaced in my 20s and 30s. And doing the simple stuff, I have to work twice as hard to do the simple things. And that is infuriating sometimes. Because it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to get out of bed in the morning, but the depression is depressioning. And I have to. I have to. Like, people always tell me how strong I am. I didn't have anybody else to lean on. Or I didn't feel like I could lean on anybody else, because that would mean I would have to trust them, and it's easier for me to trust myself than to trust anybody else. Because they might let me down. They might drop me. They might hurt me. Oh, I feel like I'm rambling. Anyways. Vlogs are back. And this one's probably gonna be stupid long because I'm gonna connect my other stuff that I've recorded and not put together for YouTube this month yet. Me and Chloe are still gonna do things together, but then we're gonna rein it in a little bit. I feel like I need to find myself all over again, like moving to a new city that's hours away from where I used to live. It's a lot bigger than where I used to live, and turning 36 and going to college and being single and not married, and I don't have kids, and I'm okay with that. But I also feel like I need to find myself again because I've got unhealthy habits of taking over when people are perfectly capable of doing things on their own. I need to figure out what that looks like and how that looks. And I'm so good at giving my energy to other people, and I am horrible at giving it to myself or finding out what giving it to myself looks like. And still allowing people to contribute and be in my life. Because, like, I love our friendship and I don't want to lose her. And I'm not going to lose her, but, like, it's like, okay, I need to stop doing these things. How do I stop doing those things and keep her here? Well, keeping her here might not look like I'm keeping her here the same way that it's been. And so, you know, we're gonna learn. But I want other friends. Okay, I think I'm done. Bye, guys.